Sanhedrin Daf Ayin Zayin Amud Aleph, 10 lines down. Today's daf sponsored by Albert Hassan in honor of Ornahum and his new baby daughter. Amar Rava, Kifatol Lifnei Ari, if a person ties someone up in front of a lion, the lion kills him. Patur Patur, because the guy would have died by the lion regardless. Lifnei Yatushin, if he tied him in front of bugs, basically, who bit him to death. Hayag Hayab, because that was directly because of you. You would have escaped from the nets, from the bugs, if it was not from. The Gemara says, Rav Ashi says, no. I feel the Patur even from the bugs, because Hani Azli Bahani Atu. The initial bugs that bit him probably left. And the ones that actually killed him came from later on. And therefore, Patur. Gemara says, Itmar. If someone puts someone in, like in a barrel and he died from suffocation, or if you open a hole in this guy's roof while he's sleeping and that cold killed him, one says patur. Says the end of Rava, who Patur makes sense that Rava was the one who held it as Patur. That Rava says, if someone ties somebody else and the guy died from starving, Patur, Patur. So we see that seemingly Rava holds that if the cause is not there initially, so you're not chayav, just like in the case of the starvation, and so too over here regarding the sleeping and or barrel. The Gemara says that. No, it's not a good proof. Stand Rabbi Zerah, who Rabbi Zerah would say that Patur because someone brings someone else into a marble chamber, little fire there, the guy dies, hayab, the guy's hayab, because by lighting the fire in this airtight chamber, he caused him to suffocate. And therefore, the only reason why hayab is because you lit the candle. And therefore, if you don't light the fire, you're not bechayab. So therefore, we see in the case of the barrel, he would also be patur. So no, that's different. And regarding the chamber, without lighting the fire, the noxious fumes of the fire would not have killed him at the time when he locked him up. Regarding a barrel, if you're causing him to suffocate, the second you put him in, the process has already begun. Okay. Siman Sulam Teres Shamanim Bekotem. Maravav Raz says that Hafal someone pushes someone else to the pit. This is Sulam Bavor, and there's a ladder in the pit. And someone else took out the ladder. Vafilu who Kadam Vesikel. Even if the guy himself took out the ladder. Patur Patur. Because when the guy threw the victim into the pit, he was able to escape at that time, albeit the ladder was removed afterward. Amrava, someone shot an arrow at someone else. There was a shield. And someone else took the shield away. Even if he himself took the shield away, I guess he shot him up in the air and he had time to run over and grab the shield away. Patur. Because the time when he shot the arrow, the guy was protected by the shield. Amrava. The guy was having medicine that he could have treated his wounds. Someone else came and ruined the medicine. If he himself came and kissed the medicine himself, why? Because the time he hit him, the time he shot it, he was able to heal himself. Maravashi, Hilka, therefore, I feel some money, even if there's medicine in the marketplace that the guy could have bought, you're also patur because he's eligible to have medicine. Let's say he shot the arrow, there was no medicine, and after the medicine came, Mahu, what's the halacha? Marley said to him, you'd be innocent because if it works to his advantage both ways. If he's able to protect himself, even though he can't afterward when he shot the arrow, it's fine. If he can't protect himself when he shot the arrow, but I shot the arrow and then he's able to protect himself afterwards, he found medicines found afterward, he would definitely be mutar. Okay. Patur. Okay, Maraba. Zerak Surba, someone threw a stone against the wall, bounced the wall and killed someone hayat. Tanatuna, and they learned from that. That is like a case where they play ball against the wall. They throw the ball against the wall, they sometimes throw it at the guy himself. We used to play it in school, we used to call suicide. If they did it on purpose, by mistake, you go to Galut. The Gemara says, of course, by mistake, you go to Galut. As we know that already. The Gemara says, no. We have to teach you that even if you did it on purpose, why? Because when you warn the guy, don't do that, don't throw it, it was a safek, because why? Because the ball was going to rebound and kill him. Therefore, teaches us that even in the case of safek warning, it still counts to warn the guy. Okay. In the case of those who killed someone while playing ball, if he's standing within, the victim is standing within 4 amot of the wall, and then he got hit by the rebounding ball, he's patur. If he's outside the 4 amot yachayav. Why? If the guy wants to throw the ball and go farther when I threw the ball, I feel like it doesn't make a difference how far. It should be one amma away. He should also be patur because he tried to throw it farther. But if he did not want it to bounce back as much as he did, I feel tuvanami. Therefore, even if he was 5 amot away, he should be patur. All right, so if I wanted to throw it farther, if I wanted to bounce back 6 feet and hit the guy 4 feet away, I should be chayav because it was within my zone. If I wanted to throw it back 4 feet and landed 6 feet, I didn't mean to do that. That should be patur, like galut. Gemara says, the reason is because when people play ball, they want to throw it as far as they can. They want to bounce as far as they can, and therefore, if it hits him, he's chayav. Okay. Are we saying that based off of this, we see if you throw something and it bounces off and it kills someone, you're chayav? The Gemara says, 1 second. If my force is considered a chayav, the Gemara says, someone was adding the ashes of para aduma to water, right? So the way you have to do it, the special para aduma, they made bull, you have to burn it. They burn it, take the ashes and put it into water. It specifically says the guy has to physically put the ashes into the water. What if, as I'm doing it, then the ashes fell onto the side of the thing that had the water, or bounced off my hand into the water, and then it fell into the water? Pasul. It's pasul because seemingly, even though it bounced off my hand, I didn't actively throw it into the water. So the Gemara says, seemingly, I need to throw it physically. That's considered my force. Bouncing off something else is not good enough to be considered my force. So how come this over here as well? From bouncing the ball off the wall? No. In the case of there, it was the ashes were dripping into the water. It didn't bounce off enough force to project it into the water. That's why it's different. The Gemara says, Tashma. If there was a needle that was tameh, that was put on a piece of earthenware, the guy sprayed the waters to purify it. Safek ala mahad hiza. We're not sure if the water hit it. Safek ala hadas hiza umitzia. I'm not sure if maybe the water landed on the earthenware that touched the needle. Has to pasul pasul. So we see that even if it bounced off the shard of earthenware to go on the needle, it doesn't count. Gemara says, it's not a case where you found it. Not that it landed, it didn't squirt on it, it landed on it. You found it on there. You didn't see it splash off. If you saw it splash off, it definitely would have worked. You just saw the water there next to the needle that's on the shard. You don't know how it got there. Okay, that's what it got. Someone tied his friend by the ocean, and the water swept over him and killed him. It was considered his arrow. The water is like his arrow. That only applies where the water killed him by the primary force. But if it came by the secondary force, shipator. So what does it mean? If I tie the guy by the ocean and I cause like a dig in the sand to make the water come to him, if that whole water, that my own little dam that I made to drown him, if that did it, then it's chayav. If it poured through and opened it wider and made a second hole because of the force, then it's patur. Amar pa, someone threw a stone upward, and it went sideways, kill someone, chayav. Why? Because it must be that it's coming from his force. If it's his force, then it should be technically going upward, meaning what's my force? Throwing it up. But if it's going sideways, that's no longer my force. Gemara says no. Right? So no, the fact that it's going up and going to the side is still from your force. If it had no force, it would have fallen straight to the ground. So even though my force is only sending it upward, but part of that upward has to come down as well, and therefore it's the chayav. So 10 people hit the guy with 10 sticks and he died. Whether at the same time or after one after another, he says no. They did it one after another, took turns. The last one's chayav because he brought the guy's death quicker. The guy was, after 9 hits, the guy was practically dead. But the 10th one finished the job, he's chayav. They both went from the pasuk. Someone hit all human life. When you say all human life, it means that you have to take a full human life by yourself. And therefore, if you split it, doesn't count. Rabbi Dam b'tinrei tzavar, he holds no. Kol nefesh, kol dehu nefesh. Anything is considered part of life. So even if the guy was mortally wounded, but the last guy finished him off, that's considered murder. He's chayav. Maraba. Hakol madmi b'degrees. Behoreka terefa shu patur. Someone killed terefa. Terefa, animal or human, is a person with a fatal issue, terminal wound, for example, is a hole in his heart. He's going to die. If someone kills that type of person, you're patur because you kill dead man. Big Go says if someone's dying, if the guy is ill from Shemaim, for example, he's ill, he's dying from Hashem, then you're chayav mita. The only time is a machloket if you kill a dying man who's dying because of a man-made issue. More than that, Hachamim compare him to a terefa and zir patur. More, and Rabbi Yehuda says, it's like a dying person who's ill, for example, and you'd be a chayav because you don't know about an ill person. He's a chayav because he might make a miraculous recovery. My time I learned according to Hamim, who compare the dying person via mortal human wound, why do they compare him to the Why don't they compare him to like a other person dying by illness? The Gemara says because the dying person by illness was not suffering because of action of a person. Versus this person did suffer by an action of a person, therefore we consider him like a Tefan Fator. Uman says according to Bidam Mitra, who compared him to dying via illness. My time I load how come we don't compare him to a Terefa? The one says a terefa means that his vital organs have been cut, his esophagus, his heart, etc. Over here, this person who got bashed his head in, for example, he didn't have his vital organs cut, and therefore it is different. This passage teaches you someone hit someone else and it did not have enough to kill him, and then someone else finished the job, the second guy chayav. So if the first guy did not have enough to kill him, of course he's batur. Why do you think he's chayav? It says, yes, he hit him enough force to kill him. He didn't die yet, and the second guy came and killed him. Second guy's chayav. It holds that if a person is dying via man-made act and the second guy comes, the second guy is still chayav, which is one of the reasons why. But I mean, now if someone is in the death throes, nobody is allowed to touch him because you don't want to accidentally somehow bring his death upon sooner.